Hi, welcome along to Transfer Daily. Taking a look at the players that have been linked with a move to Arsenal. It's been a very slow day today. Still rumours flying around, as you could imagine, but not as many. It's really gone quiet on the Khedira front, the whole defensive midfielder front. There were the rumours, of course, coming out yesterday that Arsenal have moved their attentions away from Khedira. William Cavalier, we know that Arsenal have put a bid in for him, which has been rejected as not being enough money to meet his buyout clause. And one of the other targets, Morgan Schneiderlin, appears to have put the death knell in any hopes of getting in by saying that he preferred to move to Tottenham. Right, so that surely that rules him out. Now, listen, we need a defensive midfielder. We know that. We know that's got to be the priority right now of all the signings that we're going to make. But at the moment, it was all looking hot for Khedira, and that's really gone quiet. And it's starting to remind me at the moment. I was chatting to some friends yesterday. I was at my son was playing football, and there's some gooners there, and they were saying, "Oh no, after such a great start to the transfer window, all of a sudden now it's starting to remind us of previous seasons." And I suppose we're going to have a bit of patience here, because whoever we bring in that holding midfielder role, it's going to be tricky. But listen, we're looking at great targets. Let's just think about that for a moment. Either of these to me would be good. Cavalier, Khedira, or Bender. Any of those three, I think, would be very, very good signings for Arsenal. And if they're going to be tricky and they're going to take a bit of time, we're going to have to be patient with that. Another position that we need to fill, and I'm almost certain that Thomas Vermaelen is going to leave, although I have heard that Arsenal have been trying their utmost to try and hold on to him. But he's got less than a year on his contract. Manchester United are looking to pay good money to bring him over to Manchester. Now, if he goes, it's a matter of who do Arsenal bring in that position. And one of the things is that Vermaelen, what made him very good as well, as like a backup centre back, is that he can play centre back and left back. Although not always the greatest at left back, but he can play there as well. Now, one of the players that Arsenal have been heavily linked with today, who can play in the centre back role, is Nastasic, the player who plays for Manchester City. He's a Serbian international. He costs about £16 million. Wanted by Roma and Inter Milan as well. And obviously Manchester City, if they are going to sell him, I'm sure they would much rather sell him to one of those two. But they may be interested in a sale to Arsenal, because Arsenal would have the cash up front, whereas those other clubs wouldn't want to do it that way. So we have to watch that one. But Nastasic, I think that'd be a very good signing. I've seen him a few times when he's played for Manchester City. Remember, came there as a very, very big prospect, but you know, it's like at Manchester City, you just get swallowed up after a while. He hasn't really had the gameplay, a bit like Vermaelen. You know, he thought he'd probably come in and be quite a regular starter, but he hasn't. They've gone for Demichelis. They're about to bring in Mangala as well at Manchester City, so he'll be struggling to get a game. I think if Arsenal were able to get Nastasic, that would be a very, very good signing. And the problem is Manchester City might be thinking that as well, and might be thinking to themselves, "Oh, we're going to be strengthening one of our rivals." The only thing is, we have to remember that Manchester City did get that hefty fine at the end of last season, and do have to balance their books as regards transfers and financial fair play. They're already in a lot of trouble for it. So if Arsenal do come with the ready cash, they may be prepared to sell Nastasic to Arsenal. And as I said, I think if Arsenal was able to get a player of that calibre, I think that would be a very, very good signing. Other players linked in that position are Chris Smalling and Phil Jones. Both of them of Manchester United. There's also rumours that if Vermaelen goes to Manchester United, then Arsenal will be interested in one of those two in return. Now remember, Arsene Wenger was very interested in Chris Smalling before he went to Arsenal, and he was very, very interested in Phil Jones before he went to Arsenal, tried to sign Phil Jones. Phil Jones opted to go to Manchester United. So you never know. One of those two could be coming in the other direction. That plus money, would that be a good deal? I mean, Woods United as well, because remember, I can't remember the exact fee they pay for Phil Jones, but I'm sure it's in the region of about 15 million. Now, would they take the hit on Phil Jones, letting him come the other way, or would they just do a straight swap? Is he worth a straight swap? That is a question. But that, again, as I said, is going to be a position that Arsenal are going to have to fill. And remember, as I said, Vermaelen could play in more than one position across that whole back line for Arsenal. So it's going to be a very important who they get to come in and fill that position. Arsenal have, in fact, though, made a signing. Let me see if I can get this pronunciation right, which is another one of these complicated pronunciations. Unless you're Greek, love the Greek language, but unfortunately I'm not great at pronouncing it. Georgios Spontaku, he's 15 years of age. He was playing for Barcelona at the Barcelona Academy. Sounds very much like Cesc Fabregas. And he's a hot prospect. He's actually played for the Germany, another brilliant, talented German international. He's played for the German under-16 team. He can also play for Greece. He qualifies for them as well. But he apparently, he's a midfielder, very silky skills, very a la Cesc Fabregas. But he apparently is a brilliant prospect, and apparently Barcelona are not happy that they've lost him, but Arsenal have signed him, so you're going to see some of him in the academy, and could be a player that could be come up through the ranks like Cesc Fabregas, but Arsenal have got their man, or should I say their boy there, and he will be signing for Arsenal. I know that's not the signings right now you want to see, but at least Arsenal building for the future, and that's a good signing for them. And the other rumour that's been going around, I don't know if this is a quiet Newsday rumour or if this was an actual genuine rumour, but it's been reported in a lot of the papers today. I think it might have originated from the Daily Mail, I think. This story about Lionel Messi. Now, apparently Messi last year, when he was renegotiating his contract at Barcelona, the contract talk stalled a bit. Apparently he inquired about signing for Arsenal. He was interested in going to Arsenal. He was asking Cesc Fabregas what Arsenal are like, etc. as a club. Apparently he's a massive fan of Arsene Wenger. So imagine that. Could you imagine if we had got Lionel Messi? I think there'd be heart attacks all round at the Emirates if Wenger would have turned up with Lionel Messi. But apparently he was interested in signing for Arsenal. That's before, as soon as Barcelona got a sniff of that, they came in, gave him a mega contract, and now he's almost going to be at Barcelona for life. But Messi apparently was interested in coming to Arsenal. And what does that say about Arsene Wenger? I mean, listen, he gets a lot of criticism, Arsene Wenger, but one thing for sure is that some of the big international players around the world really respect Arsene Wenger and would like to play for him. They like his philosophy on football. And I mean, that is one of the main reasons why Alexis Sanchez, forget what Brendan Rodgers said about London. It's not just about London. Alexis Sanchez pointed out that one of the main reasons for him coming to the Emirates was Arsene Wenger. He likes his philosophy on football. He likes the way he plays football. He respects him. You know, Arsene Wenger is a big draw for players. They do want to play for Arsene Wenger because they know that his style of football is entertaining. They're going to get chances to attack. So Arsene Wenger is still a selling point when it comes to getting transfers in. Let's just hope he can pull off a couple more big ones before the end of the January, before I keep saying January, for the end of the summer transfer window. Let's get into some of your comments here. Rofajar said Messi actually did inquire directly about Arsenal, and that would have been amazing, wouldn't it? Nastasic in NYC, but he would be good. He's someone who is very physical, says Shivani. Chuck Norris says, why didn't we buy Bojan Kirchik? So he signed amazingly for Stoke City yesterday. Now, listen, I think that tells you a bit of what you need to know. The fact that Bojan, who was once at Barcelona, one of the hottest young prospects around, but as they say in music terms, he fell off. And the fact that it was only really Stoke chasing him shows you how much he's fallen. Listen, good luck to the guy. I hope he does well. But I think Arsenal need to go after better targets than Bojan. Talbar David comes up with a good player here for that centre back position. He says, "What about Howard? He can play right across the back. Remember him, the German international. You saw him in the World Cup. He looked a very good player, and yeah, that's a good shout." Christian Pandya says, "I reckon Khedira will come. It's got deadline day written all over it." You could be right there. I think one of two things is going to happen with that Khedira thing. I really think it's either he signs a new contract at Real Madrid, stays, or Arsenal will swoop down. I reckon it's one of those two things. Obviously, if he surplus the requirements at Real Madrid, then Arsenal will be in a much better position in signing him as regarding negotiating wages, etc. But or maybe they might just move for a completely different target. Maybe they might just say, you know what, this guy wants too much money, let's go for someone else. Victor Alexander said, Arsenal should inquire about Lukaku. I think he will be great. He'll be a great fit at Arsenal. Again, as I've said a couple of times, do you really think that Chelsea, we saw last year, they didn't even want to sell us Demba Ba. I don't think they'll want to sell us Lukaku, and they're talking about holding on to him. Matthew says, how about Hernandez? Again, Manchester United, good player. Whether United would want him to come to Arsenal, I very much doubt. Whether he would want to come and play second fiddle, I'm sure a player like him is going to want to start every single week. Stefan, let's just move on. We've got there, Dominic says, is Balotelli worth £5 million a year? No, I don't think he is. Vangelisha says, Winston Reid will be a very decent backup centre-back. I told you on the show that apparently Arsenal are interested in Winston Reid and have been making some inquiries, and he would be a very, very good signing in that centre-back position. And again, I don't think you'd have to break the bank, and he would definitely come. Sly Cooper says, why not Varane? He's very good and talented, but I don't think there's absolutely any way that Real Madrid are going to sell Varane. I know that Chelsea have been very interested in him as well. And if the Real Madrid did sell him, he'd be very, very expensive, but he is an excellent talent. Victor Alexander says, Arsenal should inquire about Lukaku. Oh, yeah, sorry, I've just done that one. The part that I missed on that, he was also saying we should give Khedira his wage, also giving to Khedira's wage demands. I don't know. I don't think Khedira should be the highest paid player at the club. Definitely not. Oliver Toby says, what's happening with Ospina? I heard he's joining the team on tour. I'm not sure about that, but I think the Ospina deal is looking almost definite. So expect him to sign up for Arsenal very soon. Arif says, how much playing time do you think Gnabry and Miyachi will get this season? Well, it's going to be tough for those two guys. I mean, Gnabry came in last year, did very well, got a lot of playing time due to injuries. And I suppose it's going to be the similar thing for them this season, that it will depend on the amount of injuries Arsenal get as to how much playing time they get. Miyachi, when he came in last season, didn't do that great either, so he's got a lot to prove, Miyachi at Arsenal. Domindu De Silva says, hey Robbie, I'm a gunner from Sri Lanka. Great work, keep it up. Thanks for watching all the way from Sri Lanka. DJVM4GOD1 says, what about the Monreal to Atletico Madrid rumour? I've heard that. I know that Arsene Wenger likes Nacho Monreal, and I very much doubt that he'd be looking to sell Nacho Monreal, but I have heard that rumour to Atletico Madrid. Atletico even heard the rumour again about Cazorla to Atletico Madrid. When I asked Cazorla the other day at the Puma launch about Atletico Madrid. I asked him, a couple other bloggers asked him as well. He said he's not going anywhere. He's very happy to stay at Arsenal. So I would have thought that is gonna, you know, be a no there. But as on the Monreal one, I don't know. Listen, some of the rumours at this time of year, you know, you got to take with a pinch of salt. And gonna finish off with this one. Pavan says Robbie Kadira is coming to Arsenal. Mark my words. I don't know what connections he's got, but that's what he says. Listen, loads of rumours flying around still. It's gone a bit quiet. You know, a lot of us were expecting like defensive midfielder. That was going to be the next one done, and then the goalkeeper in Ospina is slowed down a bit. There's obviously a lot of negotiations going on behind the scenes about the defensive midfielder position and some of the other positions that Arsenal are looking to fill. Thanks very much for watching Transfer Daily today. Actually off to New York today. We're going to the game where Arsenal are going to be playing the New York Red Bulls. Going to be over there for some of the activities that are going on over there in New York. So really looking forward to that. So we'll have a Transfer Daily for you tomorrow, but at the moment I can't give you that exact time of when the Transfer Daily will be going out. But what I'll do is I'll try and tweet it out later on to give everybody sort of advance warning of what times, because obviously we're going to be like on a different time zone. But we will continue Transfer Daily. If you're over there in New York for the game, make sure you come and see us. Come and have a chat with us. Come and do an interview with us. I'm really looking forward to that. I don't understand why it's taken Arsenal so long to go over there and play in America. They've got such a massive fan base over there in America. But it's good to see that Arsenal finally decided to go to the States to play. And it should be a really cracking event. And it's going to be good to meet lots of the Gooners stateside. And don't forget, if you haven't subscribed yet to Arsenal Fan TV, we're really close to getting 100,000 subscribers, and really appreciate it. Help us over the line there. Help us over the line to get over 100,000 subscribers. Will be a real milestone for us. And we're really grateful, really humbled that you guys have been supporting us in this way. Thanks very much for watching Transfer Daily, and we will be back tomorrow.